It was insane that I would wake up every day for a 7:30 stand-up meeting with Europe, go until a 6:30 meeting with China at night, take a half-hour break to make a thumbnail and eat dinner with my wife, and then go live for 3 hours and then go to bed and then do it again every single day for 2 years. I think that's crazy, but it made money, so I'm glad I did it. Once I got off that ride, I'm realizing how ridiculous it is. It was bad. How much did NVIDIA pay you? I work for free. I did it for the love of the craft. Jensen offered me a really competitive salary and extensive stock options, but I said, no, I just like selling GPUs. To me, that's its own reward. I did it just because I hate AMD, bro. Any dollar I could take out of their pockets was worth it. Not to shoot my own horn a little bit, but I did get what is called the Jensen bonus, which is a rare bonus only offered directly and signed by Jensen himself. And it was for the green out, which is like, I don't want to talk about the green out more, but when I did the green out, I did get the Jensen bonus, and it was all stock. It's an all stock bonus, and that ended up being nice. When do you think you'll sell your NVIDIA shares? I've been open about it, bro. I sold 3/4 in what would be the smartest time ever, but it ended up being kind of stupid. I sold 3/4 after Evergrande right here. For this entire time, I thought I was the biggest genius in the whole world. I was like, I literally top ticked. I'm a legend. I actually made so much more money than I would have. And then obviously it had a once in a generation insane. This is quibbling over pennies in front of a steamroller like that. You know, this was nice. I have the rest and I'm just holding on to them probably 20 years. I believe in NVIDIA long-term, even though I think it's overvalued right now, to be honest, due to a lot of AI bubble and hype. Shake my head, coal hands. What is coal hands? I know what diamond hands are. So it starts out as coal, and if you hold it long enough, it becomes a diamond. But if you let it go, then you have coal hands. I see. Atrioc, first time catching you live as I live in New Zealand. I'm in my first year of law school, and I'm curious if you've ever interacted with any corporate lawyers at work in a big company like NVIDIA. I actually work with lawyers more at Twitch than I did at NVIDIA, but I worked at them with both. I worked with corporate lawyers whenever we were doing a even slightly risky marketing promotion. Anytime you would have to do anything that could like blow back on the company, you'd have to get legal sign off. Like, I remember I wanted to give away 30 series GPUs for people that acted out games in real life. I don't remember. These are all different campaigns. I don't remember a long time. But the point is, like, anytime you do giveaways, law gets crazy because NVIDIA is a global company. Giveaway law is different in every country. Every country has their own unique, quirky little giveaway laws that are slightly different, and they'll slap you if you get them wrong. And even states have different giveaway laws. If you want to do one tweet, like retweet to win a 3080, that'll take you 2 weeks with legal. It's actually fucked up. If you want to do something that simple, and if you want to do something more complex, which I always wanted to do, I always want to do a bigger thing. Like for E3, we did this huge full PC redecorate your room kind of thing. And man, it was a nightmare with legal. You got to just have all these meetings and explain it, and they go through and then write these terms and conditions that were 6,000 pages long, and you have to read it and then give feedback. And so that was my experience, but they were always nice. I think everyone who works corporate legal is like paid pretty well, has like this camaraderie among other legal people. Also, they have this thing where it's like they know it and you don't, and you can't mansplain their job. You know, in marketing, it has a big problem where somebody who doesn't work in marketing can always be like, oh, I've watched commercials, like I know shit, and they jump in. But with legal, like nobody can tell them what the law is. They just know it. And so they have this authority in every meeting. And I think they like that. So if that's my advice, is like, if you're doing it, you might like it. Any tips on dealing with brutal 2-hour bus commutes? I am miserable. TY Glizzard. Podcast, bro. That's the only thing I've ever done for long commutes. I used to commute like $1.20 to NVIDIA and back with traffic. And I would just podcast out of my mind. Midget Panda, do you think it's justified to be scared of making lateral moves to a new company now because of impending recession/layoffs, or am I making excuses? It would not be weird to be scared to leave a stable job right now, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion. My thing is recession before Q2 24. Some people disagree, soft landing. I don't know. If you want my advice, I'm telling you what I'm thinking. I would say if you have a stable job and you don't have another opportunity that you think is better, staying with it right now, I don't think that's crazy, because I do think there's going to be layoffs, and I think it's going to be a harder time to get a job. And I think right now it's easier than it will be in the future. But you said lateral move, which means you have another job lined up that isn't pay more, but maybe has different things. And that's not bad. Another company where you might have like better benefits or better coworkers if you don't like your current, like that. I think that's fine. I think it's more like leaving without something else lined up is the scary thing. Hey, Big A, how much of a pay increase would you need to consider a 1 to 2 hour commute each way? You know what I've thought about is that if I ever like wanted to stream less and work again, and I didn't have time, I didn't really want to do the after like the 7 p.m. to 11 stream, I could stream my commute. Like OTK does like the car morning drive streams. People like that. Yeah, Mark Rosewater does a podcast in his car in the morning. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. To be honest, I don't know what pay increase would make me take a 1 to 2 hour. A 2 hour commute both ways, I would never take. I'll be honest with you. But that's I guess, a privilege now. Because I only did that in my life when I was truly dead broke and I had to work to write about League of Legends for Riot. And I wanted that so badly. And so I would commute from Rancho Cucamonga to Santa Monica, which is 2 hours minimum in traffic both ways. And I did that every day to go to LCS games and write about them for no money. For like fucking $15 an article. I don't think it even covered gas and food, bro. It was terrible. And I hated it. And it made me unhappy and sad and miserable. And I don't think I'd ever do it again. I think 2 hours is too much. I've heard that I think it's every minute. I think every minute over 30 minutes, your job satisfaction goes down like 1%. Not even kidding. I used to have the stat more memorized, but I haven't used it in a while. I'm pretty sure it's like up to 30 minutes, you're sort of okay. But at 31, 32, all the way to an hour and plus, it goes down 1% every minute. Like you just start to get more and more dissatisfied no matter how good the rest of the job is. I imagine walking improves it. Yeah, probably. Walking or biking would be different because that's healthy and you feel good. And I also think that like a 20-minute commute going 60 feels different than a 20-minute commute in traffic or 30-minute. A 30-minute commute where you're like fucking zooming just feels fine. But the stop and start, even if it's the same amount of time, it fucks up your brain. I hate it. And so two hours plus in traffic was just bleh. My company enforced 2 days a week return to office. People are already quitting as a result. Dude, the company Grinder enforced return to office for 2 days and over half the company quit. You know, the Grinder, the app or whatever, something about their employee base. They just didn't like it. So they all quit. But also I saw a stat that like only 9% of jobs on LinkedIn, for example, are remote jobs, but they get over half of all applications. People are so hungry for a remote job. Like if you have an $85,000 job, you can cut it to 65K and make it remote and you will get 1,000 plus applicants. You'll get more applicants than you would have gotten. Have you heard of super commuting? People who will have a job that's 1 day in the office. They'll take a plane to their office and live in a completely different state the rest of the week. At NVIDIA, there was a guy, he was like an esports guy. Our office is in the top Northern California. He lived 8 hours away in like a suburb of LA and he would buy like a year in advance these super cheap LA to San Francisco or LA to San Jose plane tickets. If you get the right deals, they're like $25, $30, like incredibly cheap. We have to buy them incredibly in advance and get the cheapest one on like Spirit or whatever. He would fly every week. And again, it's like an hour flight. And he would do it 3 days a week. He would fly in the morning. Like he would wake up, get on his commute, which is a plane, fly up to San Jose, do his job, and then fly back. It's crazy. But yeah, it wasn't a great system, but he wanted to live with his girlfriend who lived in LA and worked at, I think, Blizzard. Women in Blizzard. I mean, I don't know her experience. I don't know, but this is what happened.